Welcome to the Glow Up Lounge, the podcast where growth meets grace and confidence becomes a lifestyle. I am Anna Shuntae, and every week we're diving into personal growth, affirmations, and mindset shifts, also self worth, and the journey of becoming the highest version of ourselves. Whether you're healing, rebuilding, evolving, or simply, looking for a little inspiration, you've found your community. So, grab your favorite drink, grab your gardening tools, get comfortable, and let's grow together. Welcome to the Glow Up Lounge. So, who is Anna Shuntae? That's probably the blessed. That's probably the best place to start. First, thank you for being here. The fact that you're listening to the very first episode of my pod, the Glow Up Lounge, means more than you know. I wanted to start this podcast by sharing a little bit about myself and why I felt called to create this space. Of course, like many people, my journey has not been a straight line. I literally talk about a time when I moved to Texas and I thought life was bright, taking off, even though all the signs were there trying to prevent me from going. But I am a warrior, and when I want to do something, I'm going to do it. But of course, plans didn't go as I thought, and it was up, down, round and round, and boom, back in Atlanta. Okay. So I've had seasons, okay, and some where I felt confident and clear about my direction because when I went to Texas, I was definitely clear. I thought I was clear and very confident about the direction that I was heading, moving to Texas. But, it's okay, and I've had seasons where I felt uncertain, overwhelmed, and unsure of what was next. Me moving back to Atlanta after I thought I was on to the greatest journey, it's like, okay, I'm back here. I'm back at my mom's house. What is going on? What's next? I don't know. I'm uncertain. The plan didn't go as planned, so now I have to create a new plan. Okay, and sometimes it's not a good feeling when you're in that space, and moving back home, when I wanted a hug and just to cry, I got, feedback like, girl, you back? And looking back is like, I can understand, I needed that to keep me growing and standing strong on my own because regardless if I have a partner or not, baby, I have to stand strong and carry life, whether, being independent or with someone. So, and that was a moment of me learning that growth isn't always glamorous because that was not a glamorous time. I was very depressed and not not at my best, but that's growth. The saying growing pains, and I felt like that was a moment of a growing pain. Sometimes growth looks like letting go. I had to let go of the plan that I thought I had, and I had to create a new one. Sometimes growth looks like starting over. I literally had to move back home and start all over again. All over. And, some people are embarrassed about starting over, but I had to embrace it. I cannot be a woman who lets the circumstance, even if subconsciously I may be depressed, but baby, you best to believe that Anna Shuntae will always create a beautiful moment out of something that's very ugly, okay? I could take the ugliest apartment or something and create it to be the beautiful thing that it can be. And that's just having the ability to create. So, sometimes growth looks like healing from things nobody else can see. Nobody, 9 times out of 10, if you are associating with me, you won't be able to see the healing, the ugly. Because when I present myself, I'm going to always try to have a smile on my face. I'm going to always try to project great goodness, good energy, making people feel good about themselves wherever they are on their journey. That's just me. It's not nothing that, I have to act. It's just that's just me. That's who I am. So nobody sometimes nobody can't tell when people are going through growing pains, and that's where grace and kindness comes in. And also, sometimes growth looks like choosing yourself when you spent so much time choosing everyone else. Spreading yourself thin when you really need to take a step back and say, hey, I choose me. What do I want to do? I remember when I moved back from Texas and I got my job at United Healthcare, and I went and got my hair done from a old friend. And she asked me and she said, hey, so what do you like to do for fun? And do you guys know that I honestly could not answer that question? I really couldn't. I was like, what do I like to do for fun? Because all these years I've been creating a brand. I've been, battling stability and just trying to be on a straight line. But once again, the journey is not a straight path. It's ups, it's downs. It's okay, we're going straight, we're good, bump, bump, bump. Then boom, something happens. You have to figure that out, and then you keep on going. And so I couldn't I didn't know, because so many years I had kind of been sacrificing fun and connections because I want to focus on my God's mission. What I'm here for. What will the step of Anna Shante be when I transition? When this good old soul leaves this avatar, my avatar is my body. When the soul leaves and transitions to whatever is next, what will be the stamp? So that is what I've always been focused on. So I had to really take a step back and say, you know what? I choose me. I choose me. I need to really figure me out. I need to know me, because when you know yourself, no one can tell you about you, because you know you. You know what you lack at. You know what you're good at. And if you don't know, you need to start figuring it out. Because I had to figure me out. Like, why did I have so much upruckus instability, and what went wrong? What could I've done better to prevent me from having to move back to Atlanta? You really, instead of being in such a depressed state, you really have to take, and that's the part of healing, the healing that no one sees, taking that time to really evaluate your actions and your patterns and so you have to choose yourself, choosing yourself over everyone else. When people call, oh, can you do this? No, I can't do that right now. I'm doing this. This is what I'm doing, something for me. So I can't be there for you right now. No, I can't pick up the phone and talk to you right now because I'm having some me time for myself. And that is okay. Choosing yourself is, it's not selfish. It's very mentally healing, because when no one is around, you have to be okay and in love with yourself. You have to know the good and the bad about yourself, and you have to be in a accepting mindset of, this is who I am. I am okay with being who I am. I know that I'm a great person. I may not be perfect, but I am okay with who I am. I accept me wholeheartedly and fully. Okay? So, One thing I've realized over the years is that personal growth, is not about becoming someone else. We have these influencers, these people that inspire us, and that is okay. Please be inspired. Please have a figure of inspiration. But when you are talking about personal growth, self growth, it's not about becoming the person that you inspire, becoming someone else outside of you. It's about becoming more of who you truly are. So many of us, we spend years looking outside of ourselves for validation, approval, or permission. And it stems from, the upbringing. When we're kids, we look for the approval of our parents. We want mom's validation. Is this right? Because so many years we have been groomed to listen, and mom knows best, or dad knows best, or family members knows. But you have to get in once you leave the house, baby. Once you leave the house, you graduate from college. Listen, game on. You're in the real world, so you need to know you. You need to know how to validate yourself. You need to know how to answer your own questions. You need to know what you want. You can go for advice, but don't go for validation or approval or permission. Sometimes a lot of people hold off goals and things that they need to be doing because they're looking for permission from the world, the validation of the likes and the shares. When it's your God's mission, you're going to do it whether it is a societal or family approval validation. You're going to do it regardless because you validate yourself. You approve yourself. You give yourself the permission to live the life that you want. We wait for someone else to tell us we're ready. Go for it. You can do it. We wait for the perfect opportunity. I am definitely guilty of that. We wait until we feel confident, but what if confidence comes after the decision? After you've made the decision that I am going to do this, this is how I'm living my life, then, okay, now I'm confident in it because, hey, I've made the decision. This is what it is and this is what it ain't. So now the confidence comes in, and now you're walking it how you talk it. You walk it how you feel. So, also, like, what if growth begins the moment we stop waiting? So many years I've been creating this beautiful brand of mine, and I had to stop waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting, oh, I'm gonna do it next week. It's like, no, let's do this now. There's no perfect moment than the time of the now, the present, because it's always going to be a circumstance. We're always going to have to figure something out. There's always going to be a bill due. It's something, the days are going to go, the hours are going to go, the years are going to start creating, and then the decades come and you have not touched or progressed in the thing that you wanted to do. So, you know, we have to stop waiting. And that is when growth begins. That's one of the reasons why I created the Glow Up Lounge. I wanted to honestly create a space where we could have honest conversations. Honest conversations. Not conversations wrapped around what society wants us to say, what religion, what cultural differences want us to say. Honest conversations about growth, conversations about confidence, conversations about mindset, self worth, affirmations, and becoming the highest version of ourselves. Not because any of us have all the answers, because we don't. We don't have all the answers. Nobody do. Nobody know. Nobody know. Okay? Nobody knows. And I'm going to leave it at that. But because we're all, learning together, when I think about a glow up, I don't just think about appearance. I think about mindset. I think about healing. I think about learning to trust myself. Learning to trust yourself. I think about setting boundaries. When it's a no, baby, it's a no. I think about becoming someone who honors their worth. Like, I am that bitch. I am that woman. I am that girl. I am worthy. Okay? I am an asset, not a liability. And so for me, a true glow up starts from the inside out. Knowing yourself, innerly knowing yourself. And that's what this podcast is really about. It's about becoming, it's about evolving, it's about giving yourself permission to grow into the person you're meant to be. Be her, be him. It's so many people trying to be like this person, trying to be like that person. We need more unique individuals in this world. We need more unicorns, okay? We need more people to show the confidence of just being who you are, so more people can reveal and be who they are. So of course, in an ethical way, but we're not clarifying nothing for the people in the back, okay? We're not. So, just to round it up, in future episodes, we'll talk about confidence, personal growth, affirmations, self-worth, human behavior. Ooh, because we have that Robert Greene, the Human Nature series coming. Yes, it's happening. Relationships, boundaries, and all the lessons that come with becoming a better version of ourselves. And of course, some episodes will challenge you. You probably won't agree with the things that I'm saying, but I hope that during that challenge, you can at least have an open mind and open heart to receive the message in a good way, and then some will encourage you. You'll be like, yes, girl, I understand what you're saying. Some might make you reflect on things you've never thought about before. Okay, change your perspective. But of course, my hope is that every episode leaves you feeling a little stronger. Yes, please. A little wiser and a little more connected to yourself, and really pulling back the layers of the onion of you, because we as humans have so many layers to us. It's not something that's just straight. It's so many things that so many layers, so with that, there's always going to be a change. How you may have thought 3 years ago, you may not think like that today. And I can say that for me, 3-4 years ago when I came back from Texas, I'm not thinking how I am today, because now I make more logical moves. Okay, if I move here, da 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 da. Okay, I know I'm not gonna have nobody to lean on, so baby, you got to make sure all your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, because you are you by you. Okay, independent queen, baby. INDEPENDENT. Girl, you know what that means. Hey, okay. So all in all, I really do hope these episodes leave you guys feeling inspired. I hope you get a laugh. If you're listening today and you're in a season of change, I want you to know something. I want you to know something, okay? You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to have everything figured out. You don't need a perfect plan. Put the planning book down, okay? Set the goals and release it. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need to know every step. You only need to know enough to encourage to take the next step, honestly. You only need to know enough courage to take the next step. And that's exactly what I'm doing by starting this podcast. I'm choosing to trust the process. I'm choosing to trust my voice. I'm choosing to trust my voice. And I'm choosing to believe that the people who need this message will find it. I attract all the listeners who need this message right now. This is a timeless message. All the messages that are released on this podcast is a timeless message. You can hear it 10 years from now and it could bless your life. Okay? So, welcome to the Glow Up Lounge. I am grateful you're here and I can't wait to grow, glow, and become with you. Thank you for spending time with me in the Glow Up Lounge. If this episode encouraged you, inspired you, or helped you see yourself differently, be sure to subscribe and share it with someone who may need it. Okay? Listen, share the love, share the knowledge, share the feeling of this made me feel good and make me have a better understanding of something that it relates to in my life. Okay? Share it. And also remember, your growth is not a race. Your journey is not behind schedule, and the best version of you is still unfolding. So, until next time, my glow uppers, keep growing, keep glowing, and keep becoming. You're on the right path. You're doing awesome. Stay focused. Please stay focused. We're going to stay focused together. All right. I love y'all. I am Anna Shuntae, and I am signing out, baby. Peace.